At 18, you could drink until 4 AM, eat a kebab on the pavement, sleep for 3 hours, and wake up ready to do it all again. At 24, you have 2 pints on a Thursday, and you're writing your will by Saturday. Your body just stops accepting the terms and conditions at some point, and nobody warns you. I want to talk about alcohol in your 20s, not in a don't drink kind of way, not in a health lecture kind of way, just in an honest, this is what it's actually like way. Because the way your drinking works in your 20s is genuinely one of the most underrated things nobody talks about properly. Let's start with the bit nobody wants to admit. In your early 20s, alcohol isn't a choice, it's a social expectation. Every plan is built around it. Let's go for drinks, pre-drinks at mine, you coming out tonight, which actually means you coming out to get drunk tonight or have a few drinks, you know. There is no version of socialising in your 20s that doesn't revolve around alcohol. It's the default, it's the entire infrastructure. And if you don't drink, or if you just don't feel like drinking one night, you know what happens? Why aren't you drinking? Said with genuine suspicion. Like you've just announced something concerning. Nobody asks why you are drinking. That's normal, but choosing not to, that requires some explanation. An excuse, a justification. You have to defend sobriety like it's a controversial opinion. And I'm not saying this is someone who doesn't drink. I do. But I've had nights where I just don't feel like it, and the amount of energy it requires to convince people that you're fine, you're not ill, you're not being boring, you just want a Coke. It's exhausting. The fact that choosing not to put alcohol in your body is the weird question tells you everything about how deep the culture goes. I've been in a few situations before where I've just decided, you know what, I don't really feel like coming out to drink that night, and I've had people tell me why, you're boring, are you lonely, are you sad, are you depressed? I was like, no, I just don't feel like going out for a drink. Let's talk about money, because this is the part that will physically hurt. A night out in your 20s costs what? 50, 60, 80 quid? Pre-drinks, entry, drinks inside, the taxi home, and the Uber Eats at 3 AM that you don't remember ordering, but definitely ate because the empty box is on your floor when you wake up. One night, 80 quid, gone. Most I spent in one night, about 140 quid on a night out. That's over 300 a month. 3.5 grand a year. On what? On something you barely remember by Monday morning. I did the math on mine once and I generally had to close the calculator app and go for a walk. The number was offensive. I could have had a deposit for something, I could have invested it, I could have treated myself to a new car if I wanted to. I could have done literally anything else with it and had something to show for it. And the mad thing is, while you're spending it, you don't really feel it because everyone around you is spending the same. It's normalised. 80 quid in a night out, standard. 80 quid in a book, a course, a gym membership, that's a bit too much. We've got the scale completely upside down and nobody questions it because questioning it means questioning the whole social structure your 20s are built upon. And then there's the physical side, because at 18 a hangover was a joke. You'd feel rough for an hour, eat something greasy and crack on with your day. Hangovers at 18 were just a minor inconvenience. Hangovers at 24 or even 26 are a medical event. I'm talking about a full day gone, not just the headache and the nausea, the anxiety, the hangxiety, where you lie in bed replaying everything you said last night through a horror movie filter. Did I say something weird? Did I text someone I shouldn't have? Was I too loud? Did everyone actually have a good time, or were they just being polite? Your brain turns into a crime scene investigator, and the crime is your own personality from 6 hours ago. And the recovery window just gets wider every year. At 18, it was half a day. At 21, it was a full day. At 24, I need 2 business days and a formal apology to my own body before I even feel human again. And I'm sitting here on a Sunday evening, finally functional, doing the math on how much of my weekend I actually had. And the answer is about 4 hours. I traded my entire weekend for 4 hours of being out and 48 hours of wanting to die. At some point, the exchange rate stops making sense. Here's where it gets real. There's a point somewhere in your mid-20s, maybe late 20s, where your relationship with alcohol quietly, maybe subtly and slowly changes. It's not dramatic. It's not an I'm never drinking again moment. It's more subtle than that. You just start noticing things you didn't notice before. You notice the best nights you had recently weren't the drunkest ones. They were the ones where you had 2 or 3 drinks and actually remembered the conversations. You notice the people you respect the most don't drink as much as they used to do. You notice that Sunday you spent clear-headed, doing something you cared about, felt better than the Sunday you spent recovering from a night you couldn't really fully recall. and you start asking a question you've never asked before. Am I drinking because I want to, or because I don't know what else to do? Because for a lot of us, alcohol isn't about the taste or the buzz. It's a social crutch. It's the thing that fills the gap when you don't know how to have fun without it. And that realization, the moment you think, wait, can I enjoy this situation sober? That's a turning point. It's uncomfortable, but it's important. I'm not saying stop drinking. This isn't the video, by the way, to convince you of that. I'm saying pay attention to why you're doing it. Because there's a massive difference between having a drink because you're celebrating something and having a drink because you can't face a social situation well without it. One is enjoyment, the other is dependence. And the line between them is thinner than anyone really wants to admit. And the hardest part of all of this is that not everyone around you changes at the same pace. You'll start pulling back slightly, not going out every weekend, not drinking as much when you do go out, and some of your mates won't understand it. You've changed, you're boring now, what happened to you? And they're not saying it to be cruel, they're saying it because your change makes them look at themselves. When everyone's doing the same thing, nobody has to question it. But when one person stops, suddenly everyone else has to confront why they haven't. And that's uncomfortable. So instead of looking inward, they push outward at you for, well, changing. Growing up doesn't mean you stop having fun. It means you start choosing what kind of fun is actually worth your time, your money, and your Monday. And if someone makes you feel bad for making that choice, that says more about where they are than, well, where you are. I'm not anti-alcohol. I'm not here to tell you to stop. I still drink, I do it sensibly. I'm just more honest with myself about why and when and also how much. And that shift from autopilot to awareness didn't make my life boring. It made my weekends longer, my bank account healthier, and my Sundays actually mine. Your 20s are too short to spend half of them hungover. That's not a slogan, that's just math as well. Do what you want with that information, that's totally up to you. You may be in university and you may be watching this thinking, well, I'm not going to stop drinking and having my great times in uni. When I was at uni, I had great nights. I had a few nights where I got really, really drunk. Enjoy your 20s, enjoy your university, enjoy the socialising part, but there gets to a point where if you're still heavily drinking, going out partying every single night, is that a choice you really want to make this early on in your life when your future self is not going to be too happy at you and maybe regret drinking as much throughout your entire life? Drink responsibly, have fun with it, and more importantly, don't be depending on it, okay? So please drop a comment and tell me when the shift happened for you, or if it hasn't happened yet, both are fine. There's absolutely no judgment. This is just a conversation at the end of the day. So please subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.